It says we're live. It says we're live. I thought I pushed that button. There we are.
Hey, everybody.
God bless you. God bless you. God
Hey.
bless every one of you. You know we had to come on like this. We're about 3 or 4 minutes late,
Yeah,
but we
we
are
are
here.
here.
Yeah, we're here. Yes, it's going to invite me
Yeah,
on.
it invited you.
Thank you. Invited me to come on my own show. I love that.
Yes.
But you know who I am. You know who we is. You know what this is. I am Pastor J.U. Sturdivant, pastor of the Faith United Ministries,
Woo!
7905 Fernham Lane, District Heights, Maryland. And you know what? I am extremely... Wait a minute, you said extremely...
Yes.
Wait a minute.
That's a 2019 singing.
Wait a minute. I'm extremely excited to be here. Glad to be here with every one of you.
Yeah.
I've got my co-host, my cohorts in crime with me. I've got StephTheBest.net.org.com, the DOT, boxofdots.edu. You know who it is. I got dots on my socks. Dots on my socks. No
Hey.
locks in my hair, but
Hey.
dots on my socks.
Hey.
Dots on my socks. Wait, you know what?
Hey.
You thought my bar's kicking in? I see that? No locks in my hair, but dots on my socks. I've got her here with me, and I'm so excited. I didn't get a chance to finish it all. .edu, .llc. Had to put it all up in there for Steph the Best. So
Yes.
excited. Steph, greet the people.
Hey, people!
People.
YouTube, Facebook, what's up?
Yep.
Second dose.
Second
I hope
dose.
You're ready. I hope you're sharing it, and I hope you're excited. I know earlier I was saying how I'm just grateful to be a part of this new year, to be a part of this
We
team.
didn't tell them Happy New Year.
Happy New
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Yes.
Yes.
New you.
Year.
Yes.
New Year.
New.
You.
New
Yes.
youth.
What? Come on.
And invite some new people to come on
Right.
and
Yeah.
watch this with you.
You
But
know.
I'm just so excited and I'm grateful, I'm thankful, and I was mentioning earlier how somebody did not make it, and
That's
not only
right.
did I make it, but God covered me through the whole year. Like 2018, I know there was a lot of things that if I wasn't exposed in it, I
Exactly.
probably would have lost some friends,
Wow.
lost some families, maybe
Right.
lost a
Right.
job. Or
Right.
just so many things could have lacked if I was exposed in a lot of my mess. So I'm
Wow.
just grateful for God covering me and keeping me. So
That's what,
Yeah.
Bishop Hezekiah Walker, he had that song saying, "You covered
Cover
me."
me, yes.
And so it's with him and Donald Lawrence, what I could have lost my mind.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, but God's a protector.
Yep.
So we're just very grateful that He covered. And then on the right of me, I've got her. You know her. Listen, ain't nothing changed from 2018. She ain't added no more alphabets to her name. It's still just one word, one name. She's got one mic. You know who it is. Josie Horn.
Hey, everybody.
Yes,
Happy New
that's
Year to you all. Facebook and YouTube, we are excited. For all those who don't know, this is Back to Basics.
This is
Eyes
what
of
it
Faith.
is.
This is what we're doing in 2019. We just give you some basic principles and
Basic.
teachings that's going to help you in every facet of your
Every
life.
area.
Every area. So, we're excited to come to you all every week, every Wednesday, just giving you new teachings that's going to benefit you all. And we happy to be here, y'all. This is a new year. We got a new attitude. We got new songs.
I'm feeling good from my head to my shoes. Know where I'm going and I know what to do. I tidied up my point of view. I got a new attitude. I'm just trying to tell you.
We got, look, y'all, let me tell you what's about to happen this year. You're not going to only be seeing us with new attitudes, but you're going to see new characters.
New characters.
New characters from
New
this one right
characters.
here. So
They're
don't
gonna
be
be here.
surprised. Don't be surprised when you log in and you see something a little different.
That's right. The wigs will be coming out.
The wigs are coming out. The characters and the voices are coming out. They are coming out. But we like to have fun on here. We give you all some things that can be helpful for you all spiritually, emotionally, relationally. But we do love to have fun because everybody's live these days and so deep. And we bless God for them, but we gotta give them a little humor, especially if it's the afternoon time.
It's called balance. You must
gotta
have
have balance.
balance in your life.
In life.
Everything, you know, some people, they get deep, and the deeper they get dumb.
No.
I'm not trying to get deep and dumb.
No.
I want to keep it light and live so we can have a nice
You don't want
time.
to be DD, but you want to be
LL.
Mm-hmm.
LLC.
LLC.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. We own this. No, but we're excited about being here
glad.
and having this chance to come back with you. And you know, listen, I'm praying that you had a good New Year celebration.
Absolutely.
I see you, Apostle Sean P. Johnson. Bless you, man of God.
Awesome.
Appreciate you. We're grateful for all of you all making it this far because, as my daughter Steph said, there were some that got right up to the 31st of December and never saw the 1st. Some left on the 30th.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Some left the week just after Thanksgiving but didn't make it to Christmas.
Yeah.
And so we're grateful that we're still here,
you, Lord.
you know, and God has been kind enough to give it to us. As the old saint said, he let my golden moments roll on a little while longer. I'm grateful that my golden moments,
Your golden moment.
my golden moments
Yes, sir.
rolled on just a little while. Then I woke up this morning. I was clothed and in my right mind.
Yeah.
That the bed I was sleeping in was not my cooling board.
I know that's right.
And my sheet was not my grave cloth.
That's good.
And my tongue was not cleaving to the roof of my mouth.
Wow.
My head had not dropped down in the locks of my shoulder. I had not been given over to Mother Dust. But I'm still here, knee bent and body bowed, ready to give God praise. Come on now.
All right, mothers.
I
Hey,
gave you
Yes.
Took us back.
every what?
Yeah.
Took you back to your Baptist. Your Baptist roots. Now I'm going to run on. See what the end going to be.
Yeah.
Because we all have trials and tribulations. You can never have trials.
Nah, not just by itself.
Without, it's got to be trials
And-
and tribulations.
Right.
And we made it through demonic hell
Mm-hmm.
and high water. Come on, man.
Yeah.
See, y'all. That's what the Lord done for us. Come on. This is when you know that you church show enough.
yeah.
Like church show enough.
Right.
Asia said she's still. Yeah, because it's getting ready to happen.
Getting ready to happen.
It's getting ready to happen.
It's
So
happening.
we're here. We gave you all of our Baptist stuff
Yeah.
because, you know, and that's the old traditional stuff. Now here they come now. Look at all of that. Look at that.
Making a test.
Yeah, you all come on, testify. You know we talking right. You know we talking right. While the blood is still running warm, lukewarm.
Yeah.
Some people would say.
Yeah.
In my veins.
Mm-hmm.
Blood don't run lukewarm. But it sounded good when the deacons used to say it. The deacons used to say it when they had on their pants that were high. You could see their white long johns and their black pinstripe silk socks. Come on, with their Stacey Adams shoes on.
Oh my.
Ah, my God. Oh, yes, Lord. Come on. We had church back
You was doing
then.
something right back
Yeah,
there.
what? Pastor Cleveland Bates, come on, you know what I'm talking about. So we're blessing the Lord for
we're grateful.
just being here and having another opportunity.
Absolutely.
And listen, some things are about to happen with Back to Basics.
Yeah.
It's about to jump off. We're about to, you know, we have had some great opportunities with one of our affiliations, and it has opened up a door. If you missed our early broadcast that we were on this morning at 10 o'clock, go back and check it out on my YouTube. What's that YouTube page again?
J.E. Sturdivant Ministries.
J.E. Sturdivant Ministries.com. And if you go on there, you'll be able to see my previous broadcast on YouTube,
Yeah.
and you will get the information that's Kimberly said, that's missionary Baptist.
Yes.
Oh, I promise you that's the
Yes.
missionary Baptist.
Yes.
That wasn't the free will. That wasn't the full gospel.
Uh-uh.
No, that was missionary
Missionary.
Baptist.
Yes.
You know, when Faith started out, we were missionary
Faith
Baptist.
United Missionary.
Yeah, Faith United
Baptist
Missionary
Church.
Baptist Church.
Yeah.
Ah, we thank God for
Yes, the Lord
deliverance.
changed.
Yeah. Come on. When you know better, you do better.
Yeah. You can't keep on saying the same thing.
Come on. But some things are about to happen, and when we get to go ahead to tell it, we're going to tell it. But lock in with us now, because some things are about to happen that we're going to be doing this but it's going to expand.
You want to become a sponsor.
You want to.
You want to connect with Back to Basics because it's happening.
It's happening.
It's not getting ready to happen.
No, it's happening.
It's happening.
It is right
we just
now
can't
happening.
say anything
We
about
can't
it.
say it.
But if you want to connect with Back to Basics and become a sponsor, become a partner, if you have an event, an announcement, anything that's happening and you want to become a sponsor, this is what becoming a sponsor gets you. When you become a sponsor, you not only get first dibs, you don't only get the access,
Right.
to everything before everybody else, but you also get the social media exposure because
Yep.
Pastor Sturdivant, he has a great following. God has blessed him to be so influential, just not in this area and local, but internationally.
Not influential.
I'm trying to tell you,
Come on,
God
man.
has,
Come
done
on.
some things. So you get the exposure with his following social media. You also get a commercial. Pastor Sturdivant, he has a great gift in advertising.
I
He has
promise
a
you I
great
do.
gift.
I
He
promise
does.
you.
He will set it like it's his. I'm trying to tell
Woo!
you, if you want to become a partner, a sponsor, to have the commercial, to have the exposure, to have just that intimate connection, please contact me, Janice Sturdivant. I can give you that information to become a sponsor and a partner. It will be beneficial because we're doing some things and you want to jump on board. I can be reached at 301-736-2383.
Why don't you call?
301-736-2383.
You know the number now.
301-736-2383.
I know y'all be waiting for that every single time. I saw my girl up in Chicago, Nunu. I saw you on
Hey.
here. Thank you so much. I
Hey.
appreciate you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Love you for always supporting and being on like that. My sister down in King George County, Sister Barbara, and I saw you. God bless you. I
Hey.
appreciate you. Tell your pastor I've got to get in touch with him. I will do that. I will do that. Happy to see my daughter Latrice on here. I don't know. We didn't used to call you Latrice, but we gonna call you that, because that's your big girl name.
She's grown.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
We would just call you Tarina,
Yeah.
and let it go. But
Right.
now, you got the fancy part French.
Yes.
Latrice.
La. Yeah.
La.
Yeah, she doing something.
Yeah, she's doing it like that. And the lady that started it all for us to be on in the afternoons, we appreciate Lady Lisa Chu.
We love
Lisa
you.
Chu,
Hey.
we love you.
Hey.
You know just how to do. Lisa Chu, you know who. We would not be without you.
Hey.
You hear that?
Yes.
Hear the boss? That's like,
So good.
ho. Wait a minute. Okay, did you hear that? Get yours, Steph.
I'm just gonna say. I'm gonna stay
All right,
on
you're gonna go ahead and just do the lyrics, and we'll be the beatbox behind
Tell me to do some new things.
you. Brand new.
Ready. Ain't ready.
And listen, people don't understand why we have to stay so hyped and be so hyped. Listen, there's enough going on in the world, in life, to have you to be down. There's enough going on to cause you to be depressed, to be saddened. And we have just purposed not to let that be our testimony. It doesn't mean that we don't have problems. It doesn't mean that we don't have things that come up. We have just decided that we may have them. That means we control it. But they don't have us. They don't control us. And so, when we were out getting something to eat, the young lady said, you all just like, y'all so chilled. Y'all just like, y'all got this good vibe, this good attitude. And Denise said, yeah, so why don't you come on and go to church? And she's like, really? I'm going to see y'all Sunday. Why? Because we gave off that energy. We gave off that love. We didn't trip or come off. She demonstrated to us how some church people did before she knew who we were.
Exactly.
She was talking about church folks. So you need to know that church folk ain't got a good reputation in restaurants.
You gotta change your ways.
Yeah, we got to change that. Give those servers a nice tip. Then they can listen to you tell them to come to the ministry.
Right.
Give them a nice
It doesn't
tip.
hurt to be nice.
It does not. What your 96-year-old grandmama say? She says people don't have to be nice, and when they are nice, they don't have to be nice to you.
Yeah.
So when somebody is nice, just you want to keep people like that in your world because there's enough negative, sourpuss people in the world. Now listen, we're on here right now. We had such a good time talking earlier today. I don't want to reteach everything, but you all weren't on. So there's some things I have to share again because you did not hear it. And we were talking because all last year, we were talking about, you know, the depth of your love. What's the sign of real love? How do we determine the measure of our love? And we talked about, you know, we kind of get the picture of our love by what we were raised in, what we were brought up in, you know, the people that we could not choose. Our mother, our fathers, our sisters, our brothers, our grandparents, our uncles, our aunts, we could not choose them. But how they treated us or how we interacted with them determined how we chose relationships outside of the house. So we are treating people, choosing boyfriends, girlfriends, acting a certain way towards co-workers and people that are around us based on how the influence of our mama, our grandmama, our auntie, all of these people, our uncles, you know, and as a result of that, even when you come into the church or into ministry, you then have a picture towards your pastor, if he is a male, and your co-pastor, female, based on what you either dealt with by how you were raised by your father, pastor, mother, co-pastor, you know, or if you had a bad situation with your siblings or whatever, then you're going to deal with Brother Jones the same way you interacted with your brother in the house or Sister Susie because of how you interacted with your sister in the house. And those relationships wound up making you respond to people that you could choose based on how you interacted with people that you could not choose. And so you now are maybe mad at a pastor, not because of the pastor, but because of maybe how it was with your father or your grandfather or the individual that was the masculine personality, or you've got a problem with your boss on the job as a female. If your boss on the job, that's a female, was like your mother who was overbearing or always critical, so now you are having the same issues with the people that you are interacting with outside of your house based on the situations that you had with the people inside of your house. When I was younger, I got involved in gangs outside of the house because in my house was no father, no older brother who was in Vietnam. I had my mother, my oldest sister, my second sister, and then my younger sister. So I was surrounded by estrogen. All of that female estrogen was around me. So to try and get something to counteract what I was not getting at home, I got involved in a bunch of gang testosterone. Because if I were not careful, I might take on the traits and the attributes of the femininity that was in the house. I had a very high voice. I had very long fingers. I was not one that was just going to walk up and gorilla anybody. So what did I get when I was growing up? I got being called names. I got being called a faggot. I got being called, you know, a B word. I got called being called a punk. I got called being called all of those names. Why? Because the atmosphere I was raised in, even though I was masculine, I was influenced in the way that I moved, in the way that I talked, by the way of the people that were around me, which was my mama, my three sisters, and then we brought my grandmother up. So I'm literally raised by a bunch of femininity, which is why even now I use it to my advantage, that when I minister, I get called to come and preach at women's conferences and at women's sessions and to counsel women. Why? Because being raised by a mama and three sisters and a grandmama has put me in touch with the mentality, the movement, the way that women move, so that now even my daughter, that I feel comfortable talking with you. Well, it's not that I know how women feel. It's just that being raised in a certain atmosphere gives you the ability to listen differently than having to be the one that has to speak all of the time, which is the natural makeup of men, which is to always try to dominate everything, as opposed to being one that can be receptive to something. So it can go either in a positive or a negative. It's just a matter that if you can recognize why you do what you do from where you came from, it will then help you to understand why you deal with what you deal with outside of the house. Even in love relationships, you know, I spoiled, I told Janice and I told her sister, I said, I'm gonna make it difficult. I'm gonna make it difficult for another brother to come into your life. Why? Because I gave them their first diamonds, their first pearls. I put them in their first car, which was a Mercedes-Benz, for them to share. So by doing that, I've kind of raised the bar that anyone that was going to come into their life was going to have to be able to meet the level to which they were raised, you know. And so now they have a standard. I said, you don't run out the door if somebody blows the horn for you. You don't open the door for yourself. You wait for the door to be opened. You wait for someone to come and knock on the door. I said, your name is not beep beep, so when a horn is blowing, you don't respond to that. So I gave a certain standard. And if you're not careful, by having no standard, you then leave your sons and your daughters, and some of you all experiencing this right now. You're trying to figure out, why do I settle for that? It's because you did not have a standard before you when you were in the house. So when you came out of the house, there was no standard set for you. Y'all want to say anything before I go on? Because I'm jumping on some stuff.
No, I was just even thinking, even when you was talking about how what you had went through growing up, how it had pushed you to where you are now, and it's also important to not discount what you've gone through, because what you've gone through are considered tests.
Say that again. Say that again. You know, because that's so. You know, we'll hear what I said, and someone will say, "Oh, that's so sad." No, but say that one more time.
Do not discount what you've gone through in your life, because what you've gone through can be considered a test. I know I have went through a lot of things growing up. I mean, I had depression stages in my life. My father would tell me, we laugh at about it now, but I mean, it was, you know, some dark moments. I mean, so much so where I wrote a poem.
I don't know if you've ever heard this poem, Steph. You have heard it? Okay. All righty.
I was in a dark space in my life, and you know, it was depressing just because I just had my own insecurities and my own issues. I mean, the poem just had just a couple of lines, if you wouldn't mind.
You can't say it for smiling, because you weren't smiling when you said it.
I wasn't smiling. Okay. The poem was, nobody loves me. Nobody cares. Nobody will buy me peaches or pears. Nobody will listen or laugh at my jokes. No one would buy me a bottle of Coke. It was very dark back then. Very dark back then, where I just felt like nobody loved me. But I'm saying that to say, going through those phases.
Yeah.
You know, as a child, as a teenager, going through those phases and those insecurities has now gotten me to a point where I'm now able to.
They said testify, Jesus.
Where I'm now able to be able to help other young people who have struggled with insecurities,
low self-esteem,
low confidence. So all of that to say, don't discount what you've gone through. There's always ministry in your trials, but you have to go through it in order to be able to have a testimony.
But you know, you said something. You said don't discount. The word DISCOUNT. Normally, when you go to a store and there is a discount price, that means the thing is a bargain. That means that you're getting something that somebody else had to pay full price for, but you get the benefits of it.
Yep.
So don't try to make what you went through seem as if it does not have value. It has major value to it. It's just a matter of how you utilize it. Pastor Kevin Williams, I saw you, man. I appreciate you. So it's important that you never downplay those moments because the tests. I shared something, I think on New Year's Eve night or something, and I said this, or it might have been Sunday. I said, your faith is only as strong as the test you survive. Your faith is only as strong as the test that you survive or conquer. You need to have the test to show you what level your faith is on. Talk to him for a minute, Steph.
I was just gonna say that not only do you have to stick it out, but sometimes like your emotions can get the best of you, and you could be winning, but because you don't feel like you are.
Wait a minute, that's so good. Go ahead.
It just kind of like you then count yourself out, and you don't even finish the test because you didn't realize that you were winning because of how you were feeling. Sometimes winning doesn't feel amazing. Sometimes you get tired and you just got to keep pushing until you get to the finish line, but the finish line is there.
Illustration perfect. I was watching the Olympics one year and there was a guy running from Kenya and he was winning the marathon. He had won it, but as he started getting closer, you could see that his body started breaking down and his legs gave out and he fell, right at the finish line. He got back up and he was getting across and he fell and then got back up and was just almost crawling. When he got across the finish line, he was exhausted, could not walk. He was dehydrated.
Wow.
His whole body had gone into rejection. Nothing was working, but he won.
Right.
Now, he didn't look like it. His body didn't feel like it. But everybody was cheering because he had crossed the finish line. It's just that nothing in his experience felt like winning.
Right.
And that was so good that you said that because you're sometimes winning, but you don't feel like it. And it's amazing because you'll still be going through life and people be like, Steph, you are such an encouragement to me. And you're trying to figure out, child, if you only knew. And you almost want to downplay your success and your compliment because you're going through hell. But somebody is saying, I just look up to you. I look forward to seeing you. You bring such joy to the office. And on the inside, you're like, I don't want to be here.
Right.
I can't stand none of you all. I've got issues back at home. I'm dealing with this. My money is gone. My car needs a new engine. I've got all this going on. But somebody does not see that because you make struggle look easy. I'll tell my kids, I said, when we were growing up, we were poor, but they only remember we always had something to eat. We always had extra people in our house. You are always made a way, but we were poor. But the thing is that when you know how to handle what you're dealing with, even poor can look good on the right person. People don't always know what you're dealing with, but you know how to manage it, how to handle it so that it winds up working for and working to your advantage. So you've got to know that the relationships and everything that you're dealing with, they all kind of go together. And we were talking about how things that were in your house affect how you come out the house, even the concept of how you view love. How you view love comes from what happened in your house. And right now, there are some relationships and you're saying, oh my goodness, this person doesn't love me. But what you don't understand is that maybe that person does love you, but they don't love you the way that you were used to identifying love in your house. You're looking for people outside of your experience to love you to the realm or to the degree of the experience that you had in your house. This person that you're getting, and Denise, people will see this and not even realize, why is it that I am attracted to this man that's old enough to be my father? It's because if you did not have that father figure in your house, sweetheart. You are looking for someone. Now you're old enough to date him because you are old enough at the age that you are. When you are now 20, 25, 30 years old, you are of age to date someone who is of that age. And here's how you justify it with yourself. Age ain't nothing but a number. It's about the maturity of my mind. And so what you don't understand, my mother married someone who was 20 years older than she because she grew up in a home where her father was not there and they moved her to be with her aunt. And so she grew up in that area. So my mother, who was grown coming out of college, wound up getting with someone that was 20 years older than she was, to the point that when I was born, my mother was 35 years old, good age, but my father was 55. So I wound up not having a young or youthful or a father that was doing various things because he was already too old, because my mother, satisfying an emptiness in her life, got with someone who created an emptiness in my life. And if you're not careful, the things that you have inside of your house will now make you create something else once you get outside of your house. And so some girls are now with men that are old enough to be their father, and it's good for that season because it gives you stability, it gives you security. But then just think about it, that if you are 25 and he is 45, that's good for that moment with stability and security. But when you turn 30, he's going to be 50. And when you're 40, he's going to be 60. And then you're not going to want to be with somebody who's old, have outgrown him, and vice versa. You know, sweetheart, you've gotten with someone, you're like, I'm a cool guy. And you're excited that you at 35 have got somebody who's 20. But see, somebody who is 20 is not going to be going out being gainfully employed. Somebody 20 is going to want to be playing Fortnite and want to be playing Madden. And you're going to be mad because you've gone to work, and the person, when you come back home, is going to be sitting in front of the television playing games. Why? Because you got your cougar on, but now you've got to raise a child. And now you're upset. That's why you are at 55 and 60 years old still calling the male in your life a boyfriend. How you got a boyfriend when you are now 40, 50, 60 years old? What does a 40, 50, 60-year-old woman want with a boyfriend? You ought to want a male companion that is willing to not play boy games, because see, boys will wind up playing house, but a man creates a home. And so you ought to want someone that's going to create home life and not just play house. I hope I'm helping somebody in here. And so that what you have inside of the house is going to determine how you give and receive love outside of the house. Y'all want to say anything? Because I'm about to drop a little something in here.
No, drop it. Go ahead and drop it.
Okay, because we were talking earlier and we shared that the reason why many people are as they are, you're going to hear some of what I shared this earlier, is because they don't realize what their purpose is. There has to be a purpose, a reason. I'm trying my best, Cousin Ty. I'm trying my best. Lady Kimberly, I'm doing my best. I'm trying my best. And so it is important that you have a vision for love. What is your vision for love? What are you thinking love is? What is the standard that you have for love? Two things have to come into play. Number one, your purpose. Once you get purpose down, why am I born? Why am I alive? What makes me get up in the morning? What puts my two flat feet on the floor? What's my reason for being born? Because we had shared earlier that the Bible says in Jeremiah chapter number 1, verse 4 and 5, Jeremiah 1, verse 4 and 5, that God spoke and he said this in Jeremiah. He says, before I formed you in your mother's womb, I knew you. He says, I knew. See, y'all think I'm making it up. What does it say right there, Steph? Jeremiah 1, verse number 4. What did the Lord say?
Then the word of the Lord came to me, saying,
right.
Before I formed you in the womb.
Before I formed you in the womb. Meaning, before you came out, before you came as a sperm from your dad and connected with the egg. I mean, fought. Yeah. And some sperm died trying to get to the egg. But you survived. He says, before I what?
I knew you.
I knew you. So in other words, before you even got here, I was aware of you. And that's good, especially Janice, as you were saying, you go through the rejection and the dark places. Even though people may not acknowledge you, God says, before you got here, I already knew you.
Yeah.
I already had a plan for your life. You are not an incident. You are not an accident. You are an assignment. I'm going to say that again. You are not an incident. You are not an accident. You are an assignment. There is a reason why you are here. If there was not a purpose for you being here, you would have died before you got here. There is a purpose for you being here. And that's why I shared with them earlier that even if you were the product of rape or the product of incest, or you were in a home and nobody wanted you, that is not a reason to check out, because the fact that you are alive and have survived means there is a purpose for your life. There's a reason why Jeremiah 1:4-5 says, before I formed you. David said in Psalm 139, he says, Lord, you have searched me and known me. You know my down sitting and my uprising. He says, you know my thoughts afar off. He says, when I was nothing, before I got into my mother's womb, you were acquainted with all of my ways, meaning that the plan that you had for me was already established before I got here. He says, I formed you, I knew you. Is that what he says? And then it says what?
Before you were born, I sanctified you.
I sanctified you, meaning he says, I've already set you aside with an assignment. There's already a purpose for your life. You're trying to figure out what's my purpose, and you're asking people, do you know what I'm supposed to be doing? Do you know what my plan is for my life? Maybe I'm supposed to be doing what you do, because we the same age, and we both girls, and I'm supposed to be, and we both, see, and you wind up, Janice said, you said something so powerful earlier. You said something about, if you don't have, you said, how many eyes are there in vision? Tell them that one more time, please. You said what?
When you think about the word vision itself, there are two letters, two eyes in the word vision.
Right.
And then also in the natural realm, we have two eyes.
Yes.
So with having a vision is to see what you want for yourself, to see the plans that you have for your life. There's no you in vision.
Come on.
There's no them in vision.
There's no us.
There's no us
Yeah.
in vision. There are eyes in vision. So in order for you to have a vision for yourself, you have to look at yourself and write the vision.
Bishop Dan Russell, I see you, man. Love you so very, very much, man. So you have got to have a vision for yourself, because if you don't have a vision for yourself, somebody who does not have a vision for themselves will make you a part of their journey with no destiny. Vision means you plan on being somewhere.
Yeah.
And in 2019, you've got to start off this year, because nobody has any more seconds, any more minutes, any more hours, any more days, any more weeks, any more months than anyone else. All of us have the same amount of time. The question is, how do you manage time, and how do you manage changes when things come along in time? It is what you do with your time and the changes that determine whether you're going to be a success or not. Because God has already planned. He says, before I formed you, I knew you, I ordained you, I sanctified you. What does the last part of that say?
I ordained you a prophet to the nation.
In other words, I've already determined that you ain't going to be local. The vision I have for you is not a small vision. It is a huge one. He says, I've ordained you a prophet to nations. Now, I can be happy if that was for me. I could say, I'm just glad to have my little church.
Yeah.
When the Lord says, yeah, you can be happy to have it, but that's not the purpose that I have for your life. And now many people are frustrated because you know you are greater than what you settled for. You know that you are more than who you got with. You know that you have more to give than the person that is saying, this is all I want for you.
Yeah.
And it is because you did not have a vision for even your emotions or the love. You know, you were talking one time to me, and you were talking about, you said, God's got to send me somebody because I've got so much love to give, somebody has to be able to receive it. But the problem is that it's not that right today, you could be with somebody this moment. and be married at this moment with 7 children at this moment.
Yep.
The problem was you had a standard for love.
Yeah.
You had a standard for love. You had something you were looking for in love. And so you could not just say, I do, to every invitation that you had simply because you already had a standard. There are some who are so desperate to say, I do, until they have no standard for love. And then they say, well, I can change her. I can change him once I get married. But if a person is like they are and you accept them as they are, what is their incentive for changing once you say I do?
Exactly.
See, you can't all of a sudden think, I can love you enough for both of us. And then say I do, and then be upset because the person isn't showing you love. You did not want love. You wanted to hear, will you? And you heard, will you? And then you say, I do. And they would just say, will you go to the store with me? Will you get me a hamburger? But you were so certain,
Right.
you know, until when they was giving you a friendship bracelet, you looked at the box and said, that's got to be a ring. And now you disappointed that it's a friendship bracelet,
That's it.
you know,
That's
because you were saying, yes.
Yeah.
And they're like, this is just a bracelet.
Right.
I want you to get that. It says, will you be my Valentine? You know? But our desperation does not allow us to wait on what is supposed to be our purpose, our purpose, our purpose. And the reason why we don't really fulfill our purpose is for the very reason that Janice just now said. It's because we do not have a vision. Purpose is the reason why you're put here. Vision is the journey to get there. You hear? So watch this. Here's our purpose. Let's go to New York. That's the purpose. We want to go to New York. Vision is which route, or method are we going to take? Because if we want to go to New York, we can go by driving 95. If we want to go to New York, we can do what?
Get on Mac and Bus.
Get on the bus and the penny saver. Which means that you can go out to your destiny and be cheap.
Right.
You get on the penny saver. Or if you want to get to New York, you can catch the Amtrak. And on the Amtrak, you can decide whether you want to be in the business class or economy. Do you want to be on one that has a lot of stops or one that goes straight there with less stops? Or do you want to just take a plane to get there? See, vision will make you have to decide what's the way that you want to get to fulfill your purpose. Many of us, we don't know our purpose, so we don't have vision. That's why you have got to, in 2019, I shared earlier today and I'm going to say it again. I was blessed to be able to build the house that is my wife's dream house. I'm blessed to have been able to do that. Has it been 98? It's been almost 20 years ago. Built my wife her dream house. And again, I'm telling you that you cannot move into what somebody else built and call that your dream house. So now, if you really want your dream house, there are certain things you've got to establish as your standard so that you don't settle for shortcuts or for substitutes. So, I was able to build my wife her dream house. Now, here's the thing. In order to build the house that was her dream house, I had to be willing to wait. I could have moved into something within a matter of weeks. But to get the vision, the dream, I had to be willing to wait. Most of us have a vision, but we don't want to wait. So we try to make happen what God will make happen, as opposed to letting happen what God wants to do for us. Do you know that when I shared this earlier as I stated, when I was getting the house, do you know we went to the bank, they presented it, our realtor presented to the bank, all of our financial work, all of our paperwork and everything like that, for us to be able to get a loan for the building of the house. You know, they had to do all of our financials, our background check, all of our income taxes for various years, all of that kind of stuff. And after all of that was perfect, and they said, well, do you have an idea of where you want to be? And we told them where we wanted to be and everything like that. And after all of that was lined up, they now knew that we qualified for it. They knew the space that we were going to have for it. They knew the land that we were going to do for it. But here's what they said. They said, show us the blueprints. Show us the finished house. Show us what the house is going to look like. In other words, before they released one dime to us, even though we qualified, we had to show them the finished product of the house and the blueprint for them to say, okay, we'll release the money to you. Yeah. People are not impressed with you talking about how wonderful the vision is, how beautiful the house is going to be, and it's going to have these floors and that floor and this and that. They want to say, show me, show me, and then I will release to you what is necessary once you've shown it. Now listen, all of you all are saying various things about 2019 and what you want 2019 to be. And it's going to be this and it's going to be that. Where's the blueprint? Where is the blueprint that's going to talk about what 2019 is going to be? Where is your blueprint? There has got to be something that is showing that you really, really believe that it is going to happen for you. I want you to understand something. We're thinking that our emotions are going to get it for us. Oh, but God knows. I've been living in a one-bedroom for so long. I've been in a basement of somebody else's house. I've been in a room of somebody else's house. I just got to have my own. God says, okay, now that you've done all of this crying, I'm not impressed with your tears. I'm not impressed with any of that. I need you to show me what you want to have happen. What does it say in Habakkuk chapter number 2, beginning at verse 2, Steph? Habakkuk chapter number 2, beginning at verse 2. Come on.
Then the Lord answered me.
The Lord answered and said what?
Write the vision.
Do what?
Write the vision.
Do what?
Write the vision.
Do what?
Write the vision.
Write the vision. I knew the kind of house that I wanted, but I had no written vision. There was nothing written out. The bank could not go by my words. The bank had to see, what is it that I am going to ultimately expect to be? You want 2019 to be something, you're going to have to do what, Steph?
Write the vision.
Write the vision. Write down what you want to see happen.
I was thinking about the movie real
Come on.
quick. You know the movie with Cuba Gooding Jr. and Tom Cruise. And Cuba Gooding Jr. was a athlete.
Star athlete, that's right.
And Tom Cruise
was his agent.
Was his agent, and he didn't have anybody else, and he was going to take a limb and just go with Tom Cruise.
Right.
Cuba Gooding Jr. kept on saying, show me the money.
Show me the money.
He's like, I have this plan for you. I want you to do this, X, Y, and Z. I want you to go pro, all this other stuff. Cuba Gooding kept on saying, show me the money.
Yep.
How are we going to get there? And then eventually, he actually showed him the vision, and they got to where
he got there. And once he was able to make the vision plain,
exactly.
Then not only did Cuba Gooding, the character he played,
right,
get it, but he was able to convince his wife.
Exactly.
Because his wife was like, baby, no, we
right,
not gonna be, no,
exactly.
baby, we not gonna be doing. That was Regina.
Right.
No, we are not gonna be doing. You got me and the baby. We are not gonna be doing. But the vision became so clear.
Right.
And when it became clear to him, it then became clear so that he could articulate it to somebody else. And then guess what? A team put up the money because he was able to produce what he had been saying with this. It says, write the vision and do what, Steph?
And make it plain on
Make
paper.
it plain. Now listen, I'm going to tell you this. What's my time? Because I got to get finished this. But here's what I want you to understand. Vision, as I told you, is different than purpose.
Yeah.
Purpose is what you were put here for. Vision is what you do to make purpose happen. And so vision, as we're looking at right here, we said it in Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 2 and 3, vision makes you disciplined. Somebody needs to write that down. Vision makes you disciplined. Come on, say that with me, everybody. Vision makes you disciplined. How does vision make me disciplined? Are you ready? You ready? Okay. If you're riding down 95, there are exits on 95 that can take you off. Right now, we're on exit 11. Let's say we want to go to New York.
Sure.
There's an exit 15 that can take you over to one area. There's an exit 22 that will take you over into Lanham. There's an exit 30-something that takes you up into Maryland. All of those exits are good, and there are signs for each one of them.
They give direction.
Nothing wrong with those exits. But if we're trying to get to New York, then even though exit 13 is good, exit 15 is good, exit 22 is good, exit 32 is good, they're all good, but they're not good for me.
Right.
And the reason why they're not good for me is because I'm trying to get to New York. So now the discipline is, don't take exits that are not going to get you to your destiny.
Yeah.
Stay on the course. And so vision lets you know not only what exits you should take, Dr. Miles Monroe has blessed my life. Vision also tells you what exits not to take. Vision will make you bypass things you normally would have taken. Vision not only will tell you what exits to take and discipline you there, but vision will also pick your friends. Because see, if you're planning on, and you've gone to school for being a model and all this kind of stuff, and you're planning on pursuing that, and then you've got somebody who is content to do nothing with their life, that may be something you want to be with, but that's not somebody you can be with, because your vision requires you to be with people that will help you to accomplish what you're trying to do. And so when you get vision, I'm helping somebody for 2019, when you get vision, you're going to have to be comfortable with cutting some people out of your life. They're not bad people, just like exits are not bad exits. It's just that there's some people you can't get with, and there are some exits you cannot take, not because they are not good, but they are not yours.
Can I say something on that, bro?
Come on.
I think it's awesome as far as the discipline piece, but then I was also thinking about with discipline, it comes with the direction. Even when we was doing the shopping for the holiday shopping,
Right.
and you went to stores, you had a vision of what you want to get for specific people.
Right.
Everybody had these sales and had all these discounts and stuff going on, and you had a budget that was set
Come on.
before you went to the mall.
Right.
Now, even though I went to the store and there were certain things that I may have wanted to get,
Come on.
I had a budget and I had a vision for what I needed to get. So I didn't just settle for getting this item for this price, knowing that I have a budget and I can go to this store and get it for a cheaper price.
Right.
So it does give you direction
Yeah,
and
it does.
discipline, so that you're not just throwing away things, throwing away money just for that temporary moment.
Or, throwing away your time.
Throwing away your time.
Because there are some people that will take weeks, months, years out of your life.
Yeah.
Dr. Miles Monroe gave an illustration, and it says something like this. It says, when you have vision, you have your day planned for certain things you can do. So sometimes people may be saying, hello, have you got a couple of minutes? You say, I have 2 minutes. That's all I have. Or if you don't have that because they're calling at the time you're writing a book or at the time you're doing an assignment, say, I have no time today, but I'll have some time on Thursday at 3:37 if you call me at that time.
Yeah.
See, people think that you're being funny if they were supposed to meet with you. I've had many people that have been wanting to meet with me at certain times, and then they decide to come 15, 20 minutes late, and we tell them, no, I'm not available. It's not that I'm not here, it's that I'm not available. Why? Because the time that was allotted for you, you did not show up for that. And even though it just may be 10 minutes late or 15 minutes late, my life is my time. And therefore, the cost of living is so valuable, I can't waste the 15 minutes that you made me miss. Do you all see that? You can't get it back. So vision makes you disciplined. It makes you cut some people out of your life. It makes you let some people go on and do what they have to do because they will have to learn it through somebody else. I had somebody saying, Brother Sturdivant, I want you to mentor me. I said, wait a minute. You had an opportunity and you did not take advantage of that. I said, well, yeah, this, that, and the other, and da-da-da-da-da-da-da. I said, well, listen, I understand, but whatever I could have done, I can't do now. I never forget, years ago, I'm going to be totally transparent with you. Years ago, I met Bishop Jakes. Years ago, we connected many years ago. Our friendship goes back maybe 30 years or so. And that was when he was making his own cassette tapes. His luggage got lost at the General Airport, and he came in with no jacket because he forgot it, and he was carrying a cassette machine to make it himself. Only about 30 men at a men's conference. He said, you need to call me. Gave me all of his phone numbers, his emails, everything like that, because he had cell phones, little cell phones back then, the car phone number in his car, the fax number, all of that kind of stuff. He gave me all of those things and said, we need to connect. and I never got in touch with him. He saw me one time when we were doing the second part of that service, and he says, "You're not going to call?" I said, "Yeah, I'm going to call. I'm going to call." I never called. I saw him some years later, and we were both bald, and we ran into each other. And I came up, hugged him. He was sitting down, grabbed him from behind, kissed him on the top of his head, and it was in an open setting with pastors and preachers. And he said, "Hey, man." And people said, "You know Sturdivant?" He said, "Yeah, I know Sturdivant." And they said, "How do you know him?" He says, "He's the guy that will cry all over you at a conference, and when you give him all of your numbers, he'll never call you." I said, "No, Bishop, I was going through so much. I've been rejected. I was going through this. I was going through that." He says, "That's not my problem." He says, "I wasn't the one." I said, "No, Bishop, you are the one." He says, "No, no, 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 no. I'm not the one, because when I dropped my mantle, if I was the one, you would have picked it up and run after me." And see, many people want to wait until they get themselves together and want everybody to be on hold until you decide to take advantage of an opportunity. And then when they don't want to be available, all of a sudden you say, "Well, they uppity, they snooty." No, their time is valuable. He's still my friend. I still love him, but I can't get from him what I could have gotten from him because I did not move when I had the opportunity. And I'm talking to somebody right now, and you're now saying, "I'll get it right the next time, and I'll do better in 2 months, and I'll try. This time I'm not going to do as much." You don't have time to do a little bit at a time. Why? Because you've blown opportunities over the years until now you're going to have to just go cold turkey. Get it done because you don't have time to do it step by step, inch by inch, the way you did it before, because you have missed so many opportunities. I don't know who I'm talking to right now, but I'm telling you, it's time for you to kind of get yourself together. Time for you to decide that you're going to do this thing right. Time for you to decide, I can't waste any more time. Time for you to decide, I can't play with this relationship. I want love. So if you want by the end of this year and your vision is to be married, you can't keep being a one-night stand. If you're deciding that you want someone exclusively, then you've got to now start preparing yourself for exclusivity. You cannot start saying, "Well, I can just keep something on the side," because see, that spirit doesn't leave just because somebody new comes and you say, "I do." Can I tell you something? Being married don't make you loyal. Being married does not make you loyal. Just having sex whenever you want it does not mean that you're going to be loyal to the relationship that you are in. Whatever your vision is, you have to start now putting things in place. It says that we are supposed to, what did it say? It says in Habakkuk chapter number 2. Come on, it says do what?
Write the vision.
It says do what?
Write the vision.
Do you even have written out the standard of the type of person that you're looking for? Do you have a standard of the type? You all did something this past weekend where in you all's friendship relationship. You all, because you all are friends, and it's about 5 or 6 of you all, and you all love each other, and you all have been having you all's friendship for how many years now?
Combined is like 20-some years.
20-something years. So every year, the beginning of the year, you all have to do what? Help somebody.
A vision board, a vision goal setting party. And it's a time where we all come together New Year's Day and we set goals and plans for the new year. We talk about things that we didn't do or things that we may have dropped the ball on in the previous year, and then we hold each other accountable for what we're going to do for the upcoming year.
And so that means that you even have, get ready, y'all. I know this is going to mess somebody up. You have to have a vision for your job, separate board. A vision for your career. How long am I going to stay on the job before I step into my career? Separate board. A vision for your house. A vision for your children. A vision for your friendships. Well, why are you working so hard making deposits in this friendship where you can make no withdrawals, and yet this friendship over here is lacking, and that's the one you run to when this one has drained you? You've got to get your priorities together when it comes to your friendships, and that only comes by writing the vision. It says, write the vision and do what, Steph?
Make it plain on top.
Make it plain. Meaning, if it's not written, it's not a vision, it's a hope. You have not really decided it's a vision till you put it down. He says, make it plain on tablets. I see you, my son, Pastor Fred. What does it say? So that what?
That he may run who reads it.
So now you have the ability to determine your vision by how you line it up with your purpose. To not know your purpose means that you won't have clarity on your vision. I'm going to hopefully talk about that a little bit more, but it has to be written down. Are you ready for this? Get ready. It says, so that he who reads it, what?
Will run.
Will run. So now, there's going to be some running. When you read it, you'll run towards it. When someone else reads it, they'll do a few things. They will either do, one, run with you because they believe in it, run to you because they agree with it, or run from you because they can't keep up with it. So your written vision is going to determine who runs with you. So there are some people, again, I'm going to quote my brother up in Ohio, Pastor Marvin. Pastor Marvin said this. He says, the hell in others. Pastor Peyton Gray, I see you, my brother. The hell in others cannot handle the heaven in you. So this season, get ready to be rejected.
Yeah.
And ain't nothing wrong with you. It's just that there is something in you that they can't get with, and so they got to get away from you. I'm going to help every pastor that's out here right now. Go back and look at my lesson earlier today, because my daughter Steph gave us some insight on it. Listen, everybody is not going through a church hurt. The truth of the matter is, some people are not church hurt. They've got family issues that they have not resolved, and they came into church expecting the pastor to be their father, expecting the co-pastor to be their mother, expecting Deacon Jones to be like their brother, Brother Jones, expecting Sister Susie to be like their sister that's in the house, expecting all of the people in the congregation to be like the family that they had in the house, and because they never dealt with their in-house love issues, they came into the church thinking that we are family. And then when they came in, they literally thought, when they came to the pastor, Pastor, I need my rent paid. And the pastor says, I don't have the money. Oh, you just like everybody else. Where'd you get the concept of everybody else? From your home, when nobody gave you any money when your bills were due. And so you are expecting the church to make up for what you never got at home. I'm out of time. I'm not out of word. I'm not out of teaching. Josian, say something to the people very quickly. I see you got this.
No, this has been a great teaching. This is going to be a series that Pastor Sturdivant will be continuing in the weeks to come. But even if you don't get a chance to look back, we do encourage you to look back at the teachings, whether it's on his YouTube channel, which is J.E. Sturdivant Ministries, or on his Facebook page. A lot of the books that he's written 6 books so far. He has some other books that's in the works now. But a lot of the books that he has written, all of these books are talking about some of the things that he has alluded to in the session today.
I'm just teaching my books.
He's teaching his books, love, relationships, choices. So if you want to invest in yourself, invest in the lives of those that are connected to you, I encourage you, please purchase these books. The books are on his webpage. He gives a brief synopsis of each book. He talks about the book and what to expect from it. You will want to make an investment. If you're saying you want to be new this year and you want to make some new changes, how about you do something new for yourself? Go to his personal landing page. That's www.JESturdivantMinistries.
STRIES.com.
Again, www.JESturdivantMinistries.
STRIES.com.
And you can purchase the books and we'll have them shipped out to you as soon as possible. If the teachings that he's been teaching has been a blessing to you and you just want to say, Pastor, I thank God for your anointing, for your ministry, I want to sow into it, you can do that via Cash App, and that handle is the $ capital D, lowercase r, capital J, capital E, capital S.
God bless every one of you. I'm so glad. I'm going to tell you, I love teaching. And we are, as Janice said when we first started, we're just basic. We're taking basic biblical principles, applying them to everyday life. I see my daughter, Kim George. That's my little Trinidad Tobago daughter. Love her so very, very, very much. And thank you so much, Lynn Adams. I see you on there. My brother Keith Turner up in Philadelphia. I appreciate you. But listen, I want you all to please share this with everybody else. And please take it from me. If you are not in a Bible teaching, Bible preaching, Bible believing ministry, get into one. Stop making excuses in 2019 for being out of ministry. I didn't say church. I said ministry. And if you're in the DMV area, if you're in Jersey, even Philly, I have people that drive from Baltimore, people that drive from Philly, 2 hours to come and be in this ministry. Why? No far is too far when your destiny is at stake. And I want to encourage you to come. Be a part of Faith United Ministry, 7905 Fernham Lane in District Heights, Maryland, where we are preaching, teaching, living the Word of God. We're walking by faith, not by sight. Now listen, at midnight tonight, we start our fast. We start our fast and consecration. It's just going for a few days, and if you'd like to join us, most churches or ministries will say stop eating and then just leave you out there. No, I have a handout that I give you, and then I also have why we fast, what to expect when you're fasting. And you can go on my church website. That's www.fumd.com. That's www.fumd.com, and it will be uploaded probably before this evening, because we start at midnight tonight. I invite you to join this fast with us. Enjoy the time with us. If you're in the DMV area, come out here and be with us. It's going to start tonight. I'm going to give a little teaching to kind of get us ready for tonight. And if you come tonight to Faith United Ministries for our Bible study, we start at 7 o'clock praying. My teaching starts promptly at 7:30. We are finished this by 7:35. You're out by 8:35. You're out by 8:45 at the very, very latest. I invite you to come and be a part of this with us, and I will give you free groceries. That within that 45, where I said that, you get free groceries. That's right. You don't have to pay for it. We're giving you free groceries. And if God gives you something that does not cost you money, He does not have to drop money on top of you. Who are you again?
Steph the best.
And who are you?
I'm Janice.
And I am Pastor Jay Sturdivant. And some people are on this because they like the way they sound on the air. Other people are on here because they can afford, they boosted everything and they've got extra things, and Facebook gave them an extra $15 to go on and boost it. That ain't our story.
No, it's not.
We are on here because what? We got something to say. Say we got something to say. Say we got something to say. God bless you. We love you. Look, I said what I said. I said what I said.
Hope you heard it.
All right, so I hope you all got that. We love you. God bless you. YouTube family, Facebook family, please share this with somebody. It's going to bless them, I know. And come back next week at this same time. We're going to go on and pick up on this and give you a little bit more. We appreciate you.